And we're live!
Woo,
We
woohoo!
hope that you guys are
Okay.
doing okay with the various degrees of lockdown and quarantines and the different reactions across the world to this thing. We're thankful for being able to continue our development efforts.
Yep.
Did you know, Rita, that we are applying this week for some sort of a subsidy from the government of Lithuania to the businesses, to the small businesses affected by the coronavirus?
Ooh, I did not know that, Sergey. Tell me more.
I have no details. I only got a call from the accounting, but
Okay.
apparently, if you're smaller than 10 people, if you pay
hmm
your taxes, then they're gonna do some sort of a cashback thing based on the amount of taxes that we've paid last year.
I know that I can also apply since I'm an individual business as well, but I don't know. Like, should I? I'm like,
Not sure
it's
like it's
fine.
open for everyone. I have some friends
Yeah.
who have different outcomes. Yeah, but we'll
hmm
see. If it
Cool.
happens, I'll let you know. Like it'll be probably the first euro we got from the state.
Subsidies. Yeah, yeah. It's so weird, but yeah. I hope.
But
I hope we do.
if you're not familiar with the Lithuanian tax system, then basically uh, it's pretty fair and maybe unexciting, but very simple. It's the same tax rate for business, profit, for personal income. Uh, Generally, no exceptions, no subsidies. So, in a way, it's good because there's no bloated sort of segment of people sucking out government money, because there's not a
Yeah.
lot of money.
We're doing all right. Lithuania is doing fine.
Yeah. So,
It's
we'll see.
fine. We're
Anyway,
fine.
today,
Yeah.
my colleague Rita, by popular request, is
Okay.
back with some cool art,
Yes.
and I'm still here all alone in the studio. Probably another couple of weeks.
Yeah, he kind of thinks it's safe enough to bring us in, but I don't know.
I got a comment that we should never scream during the stream
Oh.
because some people are watching it in headphones and they almost got sound shock. Uh,
Oh wow. Well, I hope that woke you up a little bit.
Whoever
Uh,
sent this comment, yeah.
yes. Yes. So we're
Anyway,
sorry. We'll try to be like these midnight
today,
podcast people, being very
yes,
sort of subtle and.
today we're gonna talk about wetlands.
Oh
Also
yeah.
show you some dangers, known, unknown, and go through the chests and
Mm.
dangers.
Mm.
They're both events related to what we call dungeons, which is catacombs and ruins. In
Yeah.
catacombs you find equipment loot and substances. In ruins you find books, so you're guaranteed to find books there. And going a little bit forward, I think next week or the week after we'll try to put together a sort of a introduction to the game,
Mm.
because it's the time.
Yeah, like the game has changed 360 degrees, and I think it's time for another little tutorial, isn't it?
But yeah, but what I meant to say is not that
Yeah.
it's because the game has changed so much. I mean, it's because we're close to launch. So it
Oh,
makes
that's
sense
true.
for us now to give you guys a video that you can watch and then jump into the game. So we can save some Q&A time when
Yeah.
you get your hands on the game.
We just want to tease you a little bit, tease you, so you sort of.
Don't listen to her on those topics. Uh, Listen to our game designer. So he told me we should just go step by step through the main mechanics to explain to you how that works. And
Yeah.
we wrote a list of 4 larger sort of segments on how we will present it, and we'll try to cram it into 1 or 2 videos. And
hmm
Rita will play the role of this sort of a player discovering the game.
Yeah, perfect.
So
Since
you'll be like, what is that?
mostly I'm very
What is
immersed.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, wetlands, chests, and dangers. Additionally, we'll show you the hard work we've put into a bunch of icons in the game. think we're closing on 60 or 70 icons that'll simplify your life, and they already simplify our life. So instead of saying a negative consequence of action during event, we just use one icon. And super easy, cheesy. And then we will show you something we've done with character portraits.
Something we're doing, something we're sort of trying out, basically.
Immersion thing. And
Yeah.
then I have it open right here, but you're not seeing it, but you will see it later, is the skill check items are done. And that's again like 21 names of skill checks that are not text, but visuals. So saving a lot of space on the screen and trying to make it intuitive, trying to make it like easy to jump.
Yep.
And let's start with Rita. And how did you spend the last couple of weeks? What did you work on?
Oh, exciting things, tiny things, tiny exciting things. So, the biggest update probably is our new biome, which is wetlands. It's something we didn't have before in the game, and we could just switch to the board.
Let me switch the board.
Yes, with the help of this magician, let us switch to the board.
Playmobil magician. Yes.
Yes.
So
yeah.
I got the mouse. Where do you want to go? Wetlands.
Wetlands. We
Good.
used to have lakes and rivers and events that were going on in the lakes and rivers, but now we don't have these anymore. Now, as a thing that changed lakes and rivers, we have a biome called wetlands. So the picture you see,
it's a biome number 6, and if you go by danger, then it goes from forest and wetlands, the easiest, to elderwood and plains, which is harder, and then to hills and swamps, which is the most dangerous in the game. So wetlands that Rita is presenting is one of the 2 starting easy peasy biomes.
So it's a chill place, it's a watery place. It's not as watery as it is on our main illustration right now. Yeah, this is an image of meadows. This is something that we're aiming for. It's water that you can walk through, basically.
We've got waterlings.
We have waterlings there. We have some creepy creepers. We have some snarey snarers, and also some dangers that are like lake nettles and the locusts. And these are some items that you can find there.
Hemberit is the mineral. Screamweed is the... Well, I almost screamed, but then I remembered the comment.
Yes, let's remember those poor people with headphones. Yeah.
Pearls. So, we started from this.
Yeah. So in the beginning, the assets were very similar to what we see in the image. But then we decided that sort of the background should be something completely different, right? It's more like widowy. It's less.
This looks like tropical islands.
Yeah, less like tropical islands. Even though I like the idea of having a biome with waterfalls, but maybe in the future we'll have.
Like, and then this part to me looks like a tail of a whale.
Yeah, very simplified shapes. I'm not getting into details here. I'm just trying to understand what kind of assets we need. So there's a very significant jump. The blues, the waters are more muddy now, darker.
Yeah, we used to be holiday mood, and now we're in the sort of swampy mood.
We're adding grass. So basically, as the main asset in the forest is trees, in this biome it's like these tiny islands like in the swamps, but also we have a lot of active grass there. We also thought about adding, if you go up again a little bit for a bit, I was still trying to save the aspect of water. I was trying, like, maybe we should add tiny lakes in the islands, but then it was also scrapped. So no tiny lakes in the islands as well. We only have islands. This one, it's already assets in the game. So you see these assets already have more detail, they're tested out. And if you go to the right side, yes, this is the list of all the assets that are here right now. So now we're trying to not only make sure that it stylistically fits, but also make sure that the scale is right. So we're testing out the scale of the assets.
And here in this picture, we've got the forest,
Yep.
and we've got some elder wood, and then in
Yep.
the middle we've got the wetlands. Okay.
Yeah, wetlands are sort of an in between. It should be a land that um, goes naturally from the forest to wetlands.
Yep.
They should look distinct but kind of similar because they are in a similar danger range. They should look typically normal and
Yeah.
safe.
And here you basically go from the wetlands into the plains, and then in the background you've got hills. So if you look at the ease of life, then your life is easy in the forest and in the wetlands, and then as you enter Elderwood or plains, life gets more difficult, and then if you go into the hills, you're facing some real risks and dangers.
Yeah, hills kind of look very aggressive right now. So I think it's a good thing. Like they look quite busy, and maybe that will add to the danger aspect.
Absolutely.
So if you go to the left side, basically a bit left and lower, yeah, this is the sort of scale we're looking at right now. My job right now is to take the feedback that we had last time and edit the assets to that feedback. And one of it is to add maybe more islands so that we have a bit less water and more land patches.
As a
So yeah,
reminder, this is what we were after. So it's pretty
sort of, yeah.
easy to walk through, and it's a pretty safe place. And then as you'll expand from there, then you'll have more problems. So after wetlands, we jump into chests. So
You'll see chest circs. Yeah, this is probably 2 years old when we were first conceptualizing chests, and you see a lot of crazy ideas there. Maybe we'll be able to do them as well someday.
someone on the stream asked us if there's swamp assets to compare. So here's the
Here's
swamp.
swamps, for example. Yeah.
I mean, never mind the Mickey, but like this is what swamp looks like. Yeah.
Basically, swamps are more green and muddy, and they don't have any grass.
And difficult to pass through, and dangerous, like pretty crazy dangerous. Yeah. So we started with the chests. We at that time didn't really know the use of the chests. We knew that we're gonna have
we were young,
chests.
so
Yeah.
young and pure.
We've been naive, yes. We thought we're gonna just throw a bunch of assets together and then figure it along the way. How naive of us, yes.
Yes.
These days, don't touch assets until the mechanic is discussed, finalized, filed in Confluence, and then you can move with this. Yeah.
That's ideal. That's ideal.
So from this 3 chests,
these are the old versions of these chests. So you'll see how they will change later on. Because the main problems with them right now, they're sort of very undistinct. They sort of, right now that I look at them, they're very dull as well. It's really hard to sort of see the difference, especially between level 1 and 2. Yeah. And 3 as well. It's pretty dull. Not much color in them.
So to explain the role of the chests in the game, chests are events. So if you go, for example, to Catacombs, then one of the event will be the chest. So picking the lock or destroying it or whatever. And then the second event will be a danger, a trap, or something that prevents you. And
this is just the same discussion.
Yep.
Later on, this is updated. We keep on updating the visuals of the chests, making level 2 a bit more distinct, a bit more metallic, and generally like making sure that the colors pop more. Even in level 1 as well, we see that the wood is more separated from the metal. So yeah. And we have our first little concepts of how the simplified chest looks like with shine. This is where shine enters the game. We see some sparkles. And
So yeah, like this is the catacomb, and in front of the catacomb is a chest. It attracts your attention a little bit.
yeah. So this chest as well, it's a bit too dull. It blends with the ruins too much. Also here we're discussing those bats that you'll see in the future, which is it's about dangers, and we see discussions of glows.
It's about what protects the
Yeah.
chest. So you normally have two events. It's important. Like one is what the sort of trap is as you enter the catacombs and the ruins, and the second is the chest itself. So you
Yeah.
can go through the danger, but then not open the chest, and then decide to maybe come back with someone more skilled.
Yeah. So level 2 chest here has more colors now. It's more distinct. So we just kept it as like this. And there will be examples of all three simplified chests. Now below and on the map, there they are, tiny little chests, being all cute and tiny. And here we see chests next to catacombs. This is where we see that if you'll see chests next to um, ruins and chests next to catacombs, they're flipped. So we decided that maybe we should flip the catacombs, not the chests. Otherwise, it's kind of weird. Yes, all of them in their sparkly glory. And this is where I'm reminded that there needs to be a separation between ruins and chests, but the separation that it is right now, the sort of a white glow, is no good. So, first of all, we're trying to separate level 3 chests from the ruins. I'm trying out, for example, versions with gold. They're on the map. Or a version that is a bit more. Just press on the hand there. There you go. And you're safe to drag along. Yes. So there are 3 versions of the level 3 chest, which have more colors on them. So this is very fresh. I haven't received any feedback for this yet. So you see here first, folks.
I mean, I like generally. I think you're now working with my colleagues on making it super nice. It's already good enough for me, and I think once we improve this a little bit, we'll be fine. And the important thing is to understand that this all works in combination with traps. So we'll jump to the traps in a bit, and you'll
These
see
are
how that combines.
glows that help to separate the chest from the ruins or catacombs. Basically, just a glow that is just a gradient is no good. So these are different variations.
Well, to me, finding a chest in the game, it's already a big thing. So as long as it sparkles, I'm already excited.
Right, so dangers. A bit more, a few more animated graphics for.
So
for
the things you
dangers,
need to know about the dangers is that this is how the system works. You find some ruins. In the ruins, you'll see a chest. It's very early work in progress, so don't mind this, right? Let's say here's a chest. It'll be distinctly integrated, as you've seen on the previous board. It's just like in terms of how this works. There is a ruins, there is a chest, and then there is some sort of danger that protects that chest. So as you reach it, first you have to solve the danger, then you can open the chest.
At first, the danger is unknown.
Yep, right. And this danger exists in 2 states. At first, you have no idea what this is, so you don't know if it's a serious danger, a super high level danger, or this is simple danger. You cannot prepare. Once you've been there once, you already know what this is, and clicking right button will give you the full info. And then you can remove it, and the chest remains, and then you can open the chest, remove the chest, and the ruins will remain as a safe spot. Let's say this guy is pursuing you, or this guy is pursuing you. If you jump into the ruins or in catacombs, it's a safe spot. Now we started with
Yeah, that's continuation. What's going on?
I have no idea. Okay.
There we go. So if you go to the left first, to the left, to the left. Yes, yes. These are first concepts of dangers. A lot of noise going on there. We have bats, we have clouds, we have everything, and sparkles. So yeah, the idea is that it's like a dark cloud of danger that is above the chests. So I want it to look a bit menacing, but the feedback I got is just too noisy, too messy. The cloud itself as well. It's a huge blob over.
And for unknown danger, we tried even this.
Yeah, little just question marks.
Yeah,
What
but
is
that
this?
was
I don't
pretty
know.
weird. Yeah. So the idea
Yeah.
was that this is ruins with a chest with a known danger.
Little
A
bats.
lot of stuff to unpack.
Okay,
Yep.
this is new. This is fresh, straight out of the oven. We have a lot of little lightning bulbs in these dark clouds.
So this is unknown danger. And
Yes,
once you know the danger,
these are three
it's more
types
like
of
this.
just bats that are a bit further away. Some bats are quite a bit red because I still want. I don't know. It's still under discussion really of how to separate the bats from the chests. Maybe there should be a cloud behind the bats, or maybe the bats should be red to signify danger because danger is red. So same with clouds. Maybe some clouds have a bit of red in it to show danger. You know.
I can live with the cloud and the chest, and then the red bats. I agree that the red color is a good link. And then what's going to happen eventually is first you'll see this, then either you remove the danger, so you just have the chest and the ruins, or you know the danger, you failed, but you know what is there, so you'll see the bats. And then eventually you'll remove the chest, and maybe you'll end up just with the ruins, or with ruins and the bats as a safe spot, which you will use. And that's the third thing. And then the last few things I wanted to show today.
Let's do characters as we were, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm just launching the skill checks.
Okay.
So
Skill checks, yeah.
we've got 10 skills in the game. 3 of them are magic, 7 of them are more traditional. For the traditional skills, each has 3 actions, which we call skill checks. And we spent some time creating the icons for each of them. So let me try to remember myself what's happening. Like this is extraction. You use it to get the minerals out of the ground. This is demolition, and this is engineering. So someone who's good in this skill, they're good at all 3 things. Here we've got sort of gathering, medicinal herbs, and the knowledge of dangerous plants. This is hunting, which we call tracking, creature behavior, and traps.
Okay.
Here we've got attack, defense, self-control. Here we've got stealth, belonging to the skill of travel, pathfinding, and something which we call, I think right now, survival. But it's basically persistence.
Avoid danger, something like.
It's not avoiding. It's like your skill at getting through the shit without running away or like succumbing to this danger. In the communication, we've got languages, negotiation, and deception. And finally, this skill got renamed to adventuring.
Yeah.
And in adventuring, we've got sleight of hand, quick wit, and keen eye. I think this is my favorite skill. And if you've never played this game on the street, I hope you didn't, but I'm pretty sure you've seen like street thugs trying to extract money from people playing that game.
Yeah. Not
Oh,
only money. It's like in real life, it's like watches, anything.
yeah. So let's go for character portraits. She'll be here. Another
Yep.
thing we've solved is that for better immersion, if you remember, the clothing of the character reflects the profession, the high skill, and then we thought that for the background of the characters, we can show the biome where they are. So you can see that this guy is in plains, in hills, swamps, elderwood, and catacombs. I think what's missing is ruins and wetlands, as we haven't finished that yet.
Yeah.
So we've tested extensively across different jobs against the map. For example, here you can see that she's in Elderwood. So does it really like remind you of Elderwood? Yep, it does. And here she's in the swamp. So that sort of thing when you test. For example, here she's in the catacombs, and here she's on plains, here she's on the hills. And then we did the second comparative test where we've placed the same character in different biomes to see if we can confuse some of them. Even the guy with the green hat is okay.
Yeah, he sort of blends in the regular forest, I suppose.
So the
Well,
last,
that's the point.
yeah, the last, yes, the last thing I wanted to show today is a bunch of icons that we made for the game.
Oh yeah, that the boards. Now we're collecting these boards with
So
a lot of info.
yeah, I mean you can see that we're getting ready for relaunching, get all those tag IDs and everything. Yeah, here's a problem because it shouldn't be artifacts. So all the inventory items, this is not alchemical substances. This is actually skill enhancing substances.
Oh, okay.
And this is magic instruments, tradable items, books and scrolls, resources, restorative substances, and this is party items. Well, we're still debating. You can see it's in the red. This is the Room of the Dead that is still waiting for its icons. And
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably next stream I'll explain the purpose of the room. The warehouse, the workshop, library, altar of resurrection. Pretty happy with this icon. Chamber of knowledge, halls of power. Yeah, we should rename to hall of power. And then the spire, and then a bunch of other stuff like health and health maximum, magic energy maximum, the scaring capacity, and there is a corresponding icon which means just how much each thing weighs. Action points and maximum, this means that you have a penalty, poisoning, disease, fatigue, injury, experience, level up, resistance to physical damage, non-physical, and poisoning. The party cannot move. Values are getting affected. And then here's a bunch of event-related icons. Special consequences is my favorite. It normally means that you get some trade-offs. You solve one thing, but you get some other risks. Improvement and not improvement of diplomacy, safe spot, hex. Non-physical damage, physical damage, 3 types of danger. Your party. This means the creature is calm, creature is aggressive, creature is running away from you. You replenish your magic energy, you destroy the obstacle or guaranteed destruction, which we use for spells. So there's no like need to reach certain level, you just cast the spell and that's it. Gain loss of inventory items, and then the target of the penalty. Random item, random party member, specialist, everyone in the party. And then we've got days or turns. Then we have also fatigue and the weight. And
Oh,
then
ton
for
of icons.
skill checks, we've got locked, penalty, and penalty avoided. And then we've
Ah,
got
this
stuff
board never ends. Okay.
which we don't use. I mean, we actually, like this, we use. So I haven't reviewed this board for a couple of days, so we need to, you
Yeah.
see, we've got rules. Anyway, let's go back to studio. So how do you feel, Rita, about the launch and relaunch, and for those people who just scrolled the video to the end?
Whoa, I don't know. It's a very weird feeling. On one hand, it's sort of like you just, as you said, Gay, you just want it released. You've put so much work into this thing. You know that you just need to push just a bit further, just to find this sort of strength inside of you to push a little bit further, because it's been 3 years now. Yeah, it feels quite some time. So I think, as the rest of the team, we're very looking forward to finally finalize it and release it, and uh, hopefully get a game that is exciting to play. Yeah. So these are my feelings.
I'm with you on this. I'm with you on this. I mean, as with our previous game, when you look back, you find some pockets of time which were spent inefficiently. And yeah, sure, like you know you spent this much time, but not all of that time was well spent. So you can probably identify maybe a year and a half that was intensive and that contributed to what we see in the game, and then some other like sort of things where we just moved into the wrong direction to understand that we need a different direction, and then you retrack your steps and move somewhere else. In terms of visuals, didn't lose that much. Like pretty much everything that we've done
Yeah.
is in the game. Like we haven't had any mistakes or problems where we would generate content that is not like going
Well,
into the
there
game.
were a few remakes, like the map. I think this
Yeah.
was the biggest one that we just flipped and had to, and still have to adjust to the new setting. But I think the most positive thing that we actually have a straight line where we're going, where the game designers are going, and the
Mhm.
programmers and everyone else. Whereas before it was a bit of a unknown. It was a bit like all over the place.
Yeah.
So I just wish, the only thing I wish is that I wish I had all the sort of energy I had before, but still have the same straightforward line that we have right now.
I think
So
I think like for me the lesson is that uh, the time I regret the most is the hundreds of hours that we've spent on user interface, because user interface
yeah,
is very challenging, but it's very much connected to the game. So if you change the game, if you change the mechanics, then it just goes out the window. So that time, we exercised, but didn't really make it into the game. And we've been just like a bit lazy with challenging internally certain assumptions. And like, she knows best, he knows best. Yeah? And now we're more
yeah.
proactive
I
in
think
this.
this is the thing working on this project, and the thing I'm telling everyone, like, if you think that someone is doing something wrong in your team, don't think that that person is like the superior lord of the subject, right? That, they probably know. Just address the issue. There's an issue. If you feel that there's an issue, address the issue. Like, everyone makes mistakes, everyone is kind of confused sometimes about what they're doing. And the more you push it back, the more it's gonna backfire in the end, I think.
It's the same approach with the community, which I think will launch the game sooner than later in limited early access because of all the feedback. That feedback is
Yeah,
what we need, and I think we already are like at the point where we could use some feedback, but we just wait to fix certain things that we know we need to fix. Because if we
yeah.
do the relaunch this week, then we'll get probably 60 comments, and
That we
before we
already
can,
know.
yeah, like before we can deal
Yeah,
with them, we're like, hey man, sure, but we're also doing this now, so don't
yeah.
jump to this conclusion.
Because now
So
we'll have to release a version with like a note. Okay,
Yeah.
we know that this, and that doesn't work, which is kind of,
Anyway,
counterproductive, probably. Yeah.
thanks for sticking with us. Appreciate it a lot. Hope
Yeah.
it'll be worth it, and the game you'll get will be as good as we can make it.
Yeah, for funsies, once we release this version, it'll be fun to check out the very first video of the development stream to see what was up. But yeah, but that's done. That's done. We haven't arrived yet, so fingers crossed, everything's gonna be fine.
See you next week with the introduction, which
Yep.
will start getting you ready for the whole thing.
Yep.
All right.